Everybody makes mistakes, but today we're hopefully going to help you a little bit to avoid these mistakes during your preparedness journey. Hello everyone and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and we're all about pantry preparedness, and today we are part of Rogue Preparedness's 30 Days of Preparedness, because you know September is National Preparedness Month, where everybody gets ready for all of those emergency situations that they may have to endure, whether that is weather-related, job-related, health-related, you name it. Preparedness is a lifestyle. It is something that everyone can benefit from. And here are just a few ideas of things to steer clear from, to try to avoid during your preparedness journey. Especially when you're just starting out or if you're fairly new to it, having a plan is a very important part of your preparedness journey, because only you know what is likely to happen in your area with your life, right? So somebody else's plan is not going to work for you. I don't have a need to prepare for hurricanes because I'm in Michigan, and that just doesn't make sense for us, right? So you want to make sure that you prepare for the most likely situations to occur in your life. For me, first and foremost, it's always been job-related, health-related, and then weather-related. So those are my 3 stepping stones to become better prepared. As a result, my 4th step is a grid down situation, because I believe that our electric grid is remarkably precarious, and we need to be prepared in case anything happens with it. Always remember that your plan should include some basic simple things, okay? Your evacuation plan, if you have to leave, say there's wildfires, say there's floods. Where can you meet your family or your circle of people? Communications is another big thing. How will you be able to communicate with one another? How can you get hold of one another in the event of an emergency? The meeting places that you should go to if you're not able to go home, or if you're not all at home, where would you meet off-site in case of an emergency so that you can all get home? These are all things to take into consideration and to make part of your plan. Another mistake that we all make, I'm guilty of it too, is not practicing your plan. It's nice to say, you know, I've been saying for years that the easiest, most cost-effective way to heat your food when your power goes out is with an old fondue pot, okay? Have a way to put fire underneath it, and you'll be able to heat up pretty much anything that you need in a fondue pot. So great, you've got your fondue pot that you found at the thrift store for $1. You've got some backup candles or butane, you know, to heat it up. But have you ever tried using it? Because that is going to show you what you need to know in order to make that happen successfully during an emergency. It's not enough to own it. You also have to know how to use it. So make sure to practice your preparedness preps. Make sure to practice what happens if you need to communicate with each other and the phone lines aren't working. If you need to meet someplace, and practice everyone getting there. If you need to evacuate the house, practice grabbing your bug out bags and leaving the house. Practice makes it much more possible to be successful during an emergency, because the more that you practice, the more it becomes a muscle memory and you just automatically do it. So be sure to practice. Because we are all about pantry preparedness, okay, not having enough supplies, not having enough of the basic supplies that you need for an emergency. So if you are running into something where you're going to be all of a sudden out of power for a week or two, do you have everything that you need to make your life more comfortable, to make it so that you will survive it without having to leave your home, so that you can sustain life as you know it around your property during said emergency? So this means, do you have enough food? Do you have enough water? Do you have enough medical supplies? Those kinds of things make it very important. So you want to make sure that you are stockpiled for at least 3 to 7 days. That's the minimum. From there, you can build up, and eventually you'll get to the point where if the power goes off, you just kind of go, well, that's inconvenient. Relying on technology, while it is a big part of our lives now, is definitely, it's a chink in the armor, okay? Because a lot of people have become so reliant on it. Do you remember when we all used to memorize our phone numbers, when we used to memorize our addresses as children, right? And It's those simple things, memorizing the information that you need. Most people don't even know other people's phone numbers anymore. They just press it in their cell phone, right? So if technology were to become incapacitated, do you have what you need during an emergency? Do you have a way to communicate? Do you have a way to get hold of someone? Do you have a way to look up information that you need? Having it all electronic doesn't work. Having a hard copy is really important for emergency information, emergency contact information, right? How-tos, anything like that. You want to make sure that you have a hard copy set up. Now, I'm not talking binders and binders and binders and binders. Be selective about what you save. Make sure that it's actually pertinent to your life, your lifestyle, your people, right? But don't rely on technology, which again is very difficult, but it's doable. As always, don't forget about your pets, okay? Pets during an emergency, they need the same stuff that we do. They need shelter, they need food, they need water. Make sure that you have everything that they need in order to keep them safe and healthy during an emergency situation. Make sure that they are treated with care and with caution during these kinds of emergencies. Here's the reality. You cannot rely on anybody else to take care of you. You cannot rely on anybody else to come to your aid in an emergency situation. You need to be as prepared as you possibly can to take care of yourself during an emergency situation. There are plans you can put in place. There are things that you can do. There are things that you can stockpile in order to make that possible. Nobody's coming to your rescue. Remember to always consider all of the hazards that could happen to you and your family in your area. Because your area is different than mine, I can't give you all of those situations. You need to sit down and take a critical look at what could possibly go wrong. Even though you think it might not, what could possibly go wrong? We are downriver from 5 different hydroelectric dams. So if anything were to happen to those dams, it would significantly impact our area. It would significantly impact our people. Those are things that I have to have in the back of my head. Is it likely to happen? Not so much, okay? But it could happen. Those dams are over 100 years old. If the power goes out, what kinds of things would you have to worry about? If it's a snowstorm, what kind of things would you have to worry about? Take into consideration all of the possibilities. I always say start with your health, start with your job, start with your situation, where you live, and move on from there. And then pick the different possibilities. This is not to overwhelm you. It's just to be aware so that you can be prepared for as many things as possible where you are. Remember at least once a year to go through and annually update your plan, okay? Things change, families increase, decrease, move away, different pets, no pets. There are any number of things that you can happen in 365 days, so that it should be a priority once a year to go through and update your preparedness plan. Have it down on paper, have it in a binder, have it on your computer that you print out on paper, okay? So that you have that ability to look over it and go, has any of this changed? What do I need to change? What have I learned over the last 365 that I don't have addressed in my preparedness plan? Very important. By avoiding these simple mistakes, you have a better chance of surviving and thriving during an emergency situation. And that is why we prepare. If you want to check out more ideas for things that you can prep, check out this video right here. Thank you very much, Morgan, for inviting us to be part of 30 Days of Preparedness. Until next time, everybody, be safe.